Lisa LaBelle, everyone!
We are on. Hello, world. Welcome to the L4 podcast. I'm your host, Lisa LaBelle, and we are on. We are on in the world. Earth is on. Earth is always on. It's always up to something. It's always doing something out there. It never sleeps. They say cities never sleep. Well, have you tried Earth? How about Earth? Compared to Earth, a city is nothing, son. Nothing. That's what I'm saying. Let's get a little motivation. I did a little workout. It was fast but effective and tiring. So we need a little coffee, 137 trimethylxanthine caffeine, and a little shrimp jazz. Here we go. Let's sip to shrimp jazz. Yeah. This is our summer song. It's got a lot of summer vibes. What is that? The xylophone. Little shrimpies playing some jazz. Summer jazz. That's what it is. There's different variants of jazz. Some of them are like you're in a nightclub at night smoking a cigar, and it's cold and the fire's going. This is not that. This is a bubbly summer jazz. And the sun is hot and it's on our skin. It's beautiful. Our skin likes it. All right, one more sip. That coffee's hot, I'll tell you that. I just made that coffee and it's hot. Now, we're not fancy over here with our coffee. We used to do the percolator, but you got to clean that thing every day. Every single day that thing has got to get clean. Cleaning that thing also never sleeps. That never sleeps. That always has to get cleaned. If you don't clean it, you don't got coffee. And there's no compromise on that. We need coffee, so we gave up on the perks. Stop working. We gave up on the percolator, and now we're doing the K-Cup. Now, I do have a machine that I want to start using, but, it'd probably only be a weekend thing because I don't want to clean it all the time. The K-Cup is so convenient. But, we're no fancy over here. I do enjoy a good cup of coffee. There's this place in Georgia, North Georgia, that has really good coffee. It's like whiskey flavored. They put it in a barrel that whiskey was made in or something like that. And it's incredible. It's like you first sip it and you taste whiskey, and then your brain kind of gets a little, it has to reorient itself and realize that you're not getting drunk. But it tastes really good, especially with that full-fat cream in there. Yeah, give me that cream. That's what makes it good. Yes. What else is going on, guys? I had an improv show last weekend, and it was fantastic. It was great, and we'll be doing another show soon, and. You know what? It was great because I was able to do the show with one of my besties, Mike. We haven't been doing this podcast recently, but we started a improv podcast, and I started doing improv classes. I think he was in like my very first improv class or something like that, 2.5 or 3 years ago. So we've been going through the improv thing and getting better together at it. And so we're performing with this group, and it's amazing. And one of our friends came with his wife, and it was just fantastic. It was great. And then what else is going on? What else is happening? Well, let's see. I mean, not much, guy. I mean, every time it can't be like something explosive, right? That explosive thing isn't going to happen a lot. Like, there will be something explosive and it's going to be freaking huge, but it's not going to be like every week. You got to like work towards it. So that's what I'm doing. So what's going on? I'm working. That's what's happening. See this calendar? Not much. There are some things, though. There are some things on this calendar now, thankfully. And I want to get that back-to-back stand-up night, because when I do comedy back-to-back, I get iteratively better. And so I'm asking the universe to bring those opportunities to me. So, but we got to get on down the road here, because I'm getting ready to do some stand-up comedy later here. So what else is, what are we doing here? Something with soccer. I don't follow sports. I do I'll do the car thing with my husband. You can see the helmet and the Hans device. I like that. I like doing the thing, but I'm not a spectator. I don't like watching the thing, but it was a big deal everywhere. And here in Atlanta, it was a really big deal this past week. And I think the Scots were here in America. That's what we're going out. And here's the thing with the Scottish people are like, what do those Scots do for us? What do the Scots do? No, they don't contribute. What do they do? Well, I'll tell you something they did. They created the air-filled tire. That's right. A dude named Dunlap, he created the air-filled tire. So thank you, Scots. Thank you. And I read that Boston, they ran out of beer. And I was like, well, that's interesting, because they should be ready for like big crowds, July 4th, St. Patty's Day. And apparently there were like 25,000 to 50,000 Scots who traveled to up there, over there, New England. And the people who come out for like July 4th and St. Patty's is like 500,000. But these Scots put these places out of beer. You gotta respect it. You just have to respect it. They have some sort of gene that they can just drink. They're just a fish. They're just like an alcohol fish. They can handle it. And that is pretty wild. But it made me, the reason why I bring the tire thing up is because my husband and I, we were driving around this past weekend, and we were just curious. I don't know what got us on this subject, but we were talking about the rubber tire and when was the rubber tire made. And actually, I know exactly what got us on that subject. I hit a lot of potholes. Okay, that's just, I don't mean to, but when you're in the city of Atlanta, forget it. They don't keep their roads up. And we don't even get bad. We don't get snow here. We don't get ice here. I don't know what they're doing over there, but they're not doing much. That's what I can deduce from driving on those roads a lot. Because I go down to Atlanta once a week, and it's a little crazy how many potholes there are. And I can't memorize the areas that they're at, because a new one pops up every freaking week. And you can't curve around it. That's right, curve around it. You can't, because there's a house 2 inches away from the road. So if you go around and you be hitting a house, you be hitting something, you be hitting another car. I mean, you can't do it. So I hit a lot of potholes, and we were talking about tires, and then we were curious, when was the tire created? I was like, well, the Model T must have been super bumpy and holding on to that steering wheel. That's right. When you go over a bump or a pothole in like a Model T, guess what? Your wheel be jerking to the left or jerking to the right. And the technology has gotten a lot better now, but my first car was kind of like that too. I had a Dodge Neon. I think it was 90. You know what? I don't even recall the year. I don't recall the year. It was like 99 or something. A 99 Dodge Neon, and it was an old car when I got it. So, yeah, and that thing, you go over any kind of bump, any kind of lump, and it's going to jerk you need two hands on the steering wheel. That's what I'm saying. But now there's a lot of technology in there, and apparently there's like fluid that has magnets in it. My husband was saying, but he was explaining it in a better way than I just did because he actually knows exactly what it is. And I just heard magnets and fluid, and I thought that was really cool. A magnetic fluid, you say? There's a magnetic fluid in my car, you say? Whoa, a magnet. Like maglev? Are we magnetic levitating? Magnetic levitating, that's the Hyperloop. That's going to be cool. That's two strips magnet, they be levitating. They're not, the train is not actually touching anything. It's like two negatives or something, and then poof. Something like that, like two negatives, they're like positive and negative, like attract, and then the negative doesn't attract, something like that. And then, and then it goes whoop, boop. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing right here. I got some ideas of where I want to go with my comedy career, but so you go towards those ideas, you go towards those goals, but you never know what kind of surprises and what kind of excitement is around the corner. It could be something that you never even thought of. So we're all on this spaceship together. And I might not know exactly where it's going, but people getting on board. That's what I'm saying. So back to the tires. Back to those tires. Were we talking about tires? And then something about magnets and fluid. So something like that. Yeah, so tires, so bicycles, originally it was like an iron, just an iron hoop with wood on it, or a wooden hoop with iron. I don't know. But they called it a bone shaker. That's so funny. That's so funny. Oh, the bone shaker. Well, remember from Nightmare Before Christmas, Bone Daddy? That would be Jack. They called Jack the Bone Daddy. And my friend C, her daughter calls her dad Bone Daddy. And I think that is hilarious. And maybe everyone should call their dad Bone Daddy. But anyway, yeah, so these bicycles were called bone shakers. You can just imagine, because your brain be jarbling around in your brain fluid in your skull while you're like, it's just your brain just rattling around up in your skull cage the whole time you're on that. I mean, I don't think many people rode that. I mean, why would you do that? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. That is horrific and ridiculous all in one word. So the tire came out. Let's see, that was 1870s through 1890s. Bicycles were the driving force behind the modern rubber tire. They used an iron-banded wooden wheel. Earned early bicycles the lovely nickname, the Bone Shaker. Like, did I just get electrocuted, or am I still riding my bike? You get off that bike with that wooden wheel and you're still shaking. Give me a minute to walk into this door. It's like when you get off an elevator and you feel, you ever get off an elevator onto the floor and you still feel like you're moving, like your brain needs to catch up with the ride that it was just on. Kind of like that. So that was in the 1870s, high wheel penny farthing bicycles, began utilizing thin strips of solid vulcanized rubber glued to the iron rims. It helped a little with traction, but the rides was still incredibly harsh. Yeah. All right, now we got 1890s, the air-filled tire. This is when the Scots come in. The real revolution happened after Scottish inventor John Boyd Dunlop. Scottish accent. Oh gosh. I'm not that good at that. John Boyd Dunlop, you say? He's wearing a kilt. And he's over there filling some rubber with air. So he patented the practical pneumatic air-filled rubber tire in 1888. By 1891, American bicycle manufacturers began offering air-filled tires, and by 1893, that wasn't that long ago, they were standard equipment across the country. This triggered a massive nationwide bicycle craze in the 1890s because suddenly riding a bike didn't give you a headache or shake your bones up on those bone shakers. So let's see, 1910, we have early automobiles adapted the technology right as the bicycle boom peaked, but cars presented a major engineering hurdle. They were vastly heavier and tore light rubber tires to shreds. The Michelin brothers in France, they put pneumatic tires on a race car in 1895. That same year, the first pneumatic tires appeared on American cars. Thank you to the French. Thank you. That's my people. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let's see. Yes, I am celebrating the French. Oh my God. She can't celebrate the French. She can't do that. There's no melanin in their skin. They will not be celebrated. Well, guess what? I'm celebrating them because they are my people. Yeah, that's right. They gave you tires. That's what I'm saying. And they're still around, the Michelin people. And then they gave you some ratings on restaurants. Yeah, they kept going. They didn't stop at the pneumatic tire. They went into the restaurant biznack. And they didn't go into it. They just went and ate at restaurants and then they rated them. That's the best way to get into the restaurant business. Because then you don't actually have to own a restaurant. You're just rating them. Rating them up, Buttercup. Okay, so let's see. Late 1890s to early 1900s, the transition phase. For the first decade of the American automobile, there was a split. Heavy commercial trucks stuck to thick, solid rubber tires because they didn't pop under immense weight. Passenger cars rapidly adapted the air-filled tires for comfort, giving rise to the American giants like Goodyear, founded in 1898. Did you know Goodyear was that old? And Firestone, founded in 1900. 1900? I didn't know they were around that long. Did you know they were around that long? I didn't know they were around that long. That's a pretty long. I mean, that wasn't that long, but that's pretty long. That's a pretty long time. I mean, you just think about it. Tires they're timeless, really. Like, there's new tread technology on it, which I think Firestone and Goodyear worked on the tread thing. Early tires were completely smooth, slick rubber that wore out after just a few hundred miles and slipped constantly in mud. In 1905, manufacturers started introducing tread patterns for traction. By the time Henry Ford revolutionized mass production with the Model T, durable treaded pneumatic rubber tires were standard across the American automobile industry. So then they worked on that tread thing. But yeah, I mean, we're still going to be using rubber up on the moon and up on Mars. I mean, rubber, I can't see rubber ever, like, until we get hovering vehicles, like everything's a drone or maglev, where you don't really need tires to roll yourself to get on down the road. That's going to take a long time. So tires are going to be around forever. That's a good business to get into if you're like into that, because it's just not going to go out of business. So, all right. Yeah, so that was interesting. And another interesting thing that I was thinking was, how about like Henry Ford? By the time Henry Ford revolutionized mass production with the Model T, durable treaded pneumatic rubber tires were standard across American automotive industry. So in order for Henry Ford to be successful, like if he was a little bit before this time, it wouldn't have worked. He would have had to create this whole tire thing his own or something, the whole tread thing his own. It wouldn't have worked. So it was like all pretty perfect timing, which is pretty incredible. But yeah, the Scots, they were the original pneumatic, the air-filled rubber tire. You know, those Scots over there, that's a Brontosaurus build over there. Those Scots, they're built hardy. They got like 12 aortas. They built hardy. I think they eat those kippas. Do they eat kippas for breakfast? Is that a Scottish breakfast food? Kippas. So let's see. Moving on from the tire thing, let's do a little more shrimp jazz because I want some more coffee.
Let's go.
I want them to just follow me around in life. These little shrimp jazz dudes. I love it. Just be my like theme tune. Okay, let's go. Let's see. We got Jensen Huang. Now remember Jensen Huang, he is the CEO of NVIDIA. NVIDIA makes graphic processing units, CPUs. They're working on that Vera Rubin Space One, which is already up in space, testing out for orbital data centers with that radiation hardening on it to protect the chip from bit flips, from the radiation hitting those bits, hitting those transistors and flipping the bit. You got the 1 to 0. So you need to protect your GPU up in space from radiation, for hitting and flipping bits and then making your calculation wrong, because that could be a big old problem. So also like radiation and space weather, it can really damage your chip. So anyway, they figured all that out. It's up there in space. They're testing it out. And Jensen Huang over there, he's doing a lot of things that people said couldn't be done. And the whole thing about it is, like Brett Adcock, I think the reason why he's becoming so popular or becoming, his business figure is so successful is because he's also in the right time. Like if he was a little bit before this time, it might have been really hard. Like Boston Dynamics was way before their time. So they really struggled through, their robot, like really having to test their robots physically. They had to take their robots and then the robot outside to learn. The robot would fall. It would bust apart in the parking lot. Some of the nuts and bolts, like its knee ended up in someone's coffee. And then they had to go back in and rebuild it. And that's what their method was. They're over 30 years old, Boston Dynamics. And now they are not, I think it started from an MIT guy, Mark Rabart, I believe his name it still is. But I don't think he's involved with the company anymore. I think it got sold off to, is it South Korea or Japan? But it's not an American company anymore. So Hyundai. What am I saying? It got sold off to Hyundai. Okay. So anyway, yeah, so Boston Dynamics, they were way before their time. Well-respected company, though, because they went through just a lot. They grinded through. And now you got Brett Adcock, who started his humanoid company not too long ago, and which was in perfect timing with the universe of Jensen Huang entering the picture and Jensen Huang making it possible for a chip to be put into a robot. It was very hard before Jensen Huang, before NVIDIA came along, because here's the thing. You can train your robot in simulation on a computer, boys and girls, on a computer with a lot of storage. Like, so you have a computer and it has a lot of storage. This is like bird's eye view. You got a lot of storage space on your computer, and you have a lot of, like, you're able to run a whole simulation on it, and it can remember everything on your computer. Now, take all of that. Say it's say we're taking like a 32 bit, okay, versus a 4-bit, a 32 bit. And now you're going to, you have to make it, whittle it down into like a 4-bit or a 16-bit. Okay. And the higher the bit, the more precise it's going to be and the more power it's going to use. But you don't have to be extremely precise as a humanoid robot, because you don't want your robot taking up a whole bunch of energy trying to perfectly calculate where its right foot is going to go and then its left foot as it's just doing a walk. So you don't want it running on a 32-bit high precision. Now, you do want your robot to be extremely precise when it's trying to calculate picking up a mug. How heavy is this mug? How do I need to balance myself with my gyroscope and my accelerometer and my inertial measurement unit and all of these things. So what I'm saying is Jensen Huang came along. Before Jensen Huang, it was very hard to take all of this simulated learning and put it into a robot, a physical AI robot that is not a huge ass computer with all this like storage on it. So it was very hard to do that. But Jensen Huang came along and he's like, here's a chip and this thing. The Jetson Thor T5000, you can go from a 32-bit to a 16-bit to a 8-bit to a 4-bit back to a 32-bit to the 4-bit. It has these transistor engines in it, and it kind of like shifts, like that, like a manual car. Probably not like that, but that's how I like to think about it. So, so it's pretty cool. Bear with me, guys. Hang on. I want to check a term in my notes. Oh, my notes. I should put a little shrimp jazz on, for you guys. I don't know if I'm going to find... I recently just redid my notes and into folders because I thought that'd be the best way, but apparently... I'm sure it's the best way. I just have to get used to it. Found it! Boom, we back. Okay, so it's called quantization, where you're taking to make a model run faster and handle more, request higher throughput. Developers might shrink a model from a 16-bit to a 4-bit. This makes it more efficient, but can lead to a slight drop in the nuances of the answers. Using smaller, faster model, we're talking like, let's go to Gemini here. Gemini Flash provides massive throughput for high volume tasks, whereas larger models like Gemini Pro offers higher quality for complex reasoning but lower throughput. So it's a method used to increase throughput could impact quantity. Yeah, so it's called quantization when you're kind of like shrinking, boop boop, that boop boop, shrinking shrinking the bit down basically. So. Okay. Yeah. So Brett Adcock came along at the right time. And I'm pretty sure in his figure 3, he uses the Jetson Thor T5000, and which makes it like, wow, before, if that wasn't around, I don't know, like they would have had to spend just a lot more time trying to figure out how to do it, how to put a chip in the humanoid and like how to do the transit, like all the things that Jensen Huang figured out, so the world was like, Jensen Huang, you can't do that. You can't make a chip for a human, for a robot. You can't quantize that thing. And he was like, oh yeah, watch me not sleep and make this thing. And that's what he did. He didn't sleep. And then he made this thing. So kind of like Earth, Earth keeps going, Earth not sleeping. And that's what Jensen Huang did. So what I'm doing here is I'm showing you a clip of Jensen Huang. He is basically saying, someone asked him, the United States, do we need to be the leaders in AI? And this is what he answered. This is really great. I love it. This answer is fantastic.
Why is it so important for the United States to win the so-called AI race?
I don't know that winning AI is a thing, because AI is going to last a long time, and there's no end. It's a competition with no end. It's like a marathon, just runs forever. And so I don't know exactly what that means to
100%.
win. However, we should absolutely lead. I think we should lead in every single aspect of it. AI has a 5-layer cake. There's energy at the bottom. Then there are chips, infrastructure, which is cloud services, data centers. Then there's the AI model itself, and then the applications on top. It's a 5-layer cake. Most people only think about the AI models, but remember, AI as an industry is that entire 5 layers. We need to make sure that we lead in energy. Without energy, our country can't grow. Without energy, our economy can't grow. If the economy doesn't grow, national security is in peril, domestic security is in peril, everything's in peril. The country has to grow. We need to have energy to grow.
Why is it so important?
100%. 100%. So the person who is leading in energy is leading. That is going to win. They're the winners. Energy is everything. And I know a lot of people don't want the data center thing. I get it. But I don't really know what to say about that. I'm very much for the orbital data center instead of using Earth's resources. It just seems ridiculous to not use the sun's resources for an orbital data center to get all our energy from the sun. Like, we have this big, huge flaming flaming star up there. I know it's not on fire. It's like a gas thing with the plasma and the coronal mass ejections. But why can't we use the energy from that? That's like insane amounts of energy. I mean, come on, let's go. That's what Elon Musk is all about. The Kardashev scale, getting to a type 1 civilization where we use Dyson spheres to harness, to capture some of that energy from our star. Yes, let's go. Let's make sci-fi a reality, because it should be. It's a great idea and it seems plausible. So let's do it. So that's what I'm all about is, we need, I just don't think we're going to get enough power from Earth. Our grid just can't handle it. So I'm not really like for the data centers on Earth. I'm not really like, excited about those. I know there's like small modular reactors, which is the new type of nuclear. So instead of fission, we have fusion like our star. And forgive me, I am dyslexic. So if I have those turned around, then so be it. But I'm pretty sure I don't. So, but yeah, that's what's going on with the energy thing. And let's go. Let's get some energy. Let's shake some bones up. Let's get a bone shaker going. Okay, moving on. I want to talk about some bees. What? Yeah, that's right. That's right, because it's hot outside, and I've been seeing a lot of bee activity. And those little honeybees, they're so cute. Don't kill the honeybees. I think that people who purposely kill honeybees, that should be an offense, jail time, or something else, because taxpayers have to pay for these people in jail. And I think that's a little freaking crazy. So maybe you should make them just do work. They should go do work. That's what I'm saying. Someone killing a bee on purpose will make them go do work. Okay? What I'm saying is it should be illegal, because when I tell you about these bees, your mind is going to blow straight out your butt. That's why I'm going to put this Hans device on to protect my head from snapping off my neck. So here we go. Okay, we're good here. We got our Hans device on. Ready? Are you ready? We're going to talk about bees. Yes, bees. Lisa, you have a Hans device to talk about bees. Yes! Yes, because your head gonna snap off your neck when you hear about this. Ready? I'm going to tell you a statistic. Here. Here we go. It is widely cited that 1 out of every 3 bees, Okay. It is widely cited that 1 out of every 3 bites of food humans consume relies directly or indirectly on animal pollination. And bees do the vast majority of the work. Did you hear that? You want me to say it again? Here we go. Ready? It is widely cited that 1 out of every 3 bites of food humans consume. 1 out of every 3 bites of food. How much are you guys eating? How much do you eat? Okay, just think about that. How much you chewing? How much you smacking those jowls together every day, chewing your food, biting on some snacks. All you snackadacalacs out there, I'm a snackadacalist. That's what's going on. How much bites you taking? Well, think about this, guys. 1 out of every 3 bites of food humans consume relies directly or indirectly on animal pollination, and bees do the vast majority of that work. How many bites you taking in a day? You ever count that? You ever count how many bites you snacking down on every day? It's like, we wear things on our wrist to tell us how many steps we got in. Why aren't we counting our bites? We should be counting our bites and think every 1 out of 3 bite you take, you should be thinking about the bees, how much they work. The bees, here's the deal, guys. The bees are basically indentured servants for us at this point. Almond farmers. The most extreme example of the commercial almond industry. Almond trees are almost 100% reliant on the honeybee pollination. Every year, nearly 2 million bee colonies, more than half of all managed honeybees in the United States, are shipped on trucks to California's Central Valley just to pollinate the almond orchards during a brief blooming window. They catching bees and moving them all to the almond trees. They're out there catching bees, moving them to the almond trees, and I think those bees are indentured servants at this point. What are we doing for those bees? When they sting something, they die, those poor things. We need to protect the bees. And I don't know if I agree with, shipping them out just so that we can freaking bite down on our food so that we can snack a dackalack. I don't know about that. It seems excessive. We're making these bees really, really work. And that is just wild. We need to have a little more respect for the bee butt. All right? The bee butt popping honey. And that's probably hot. That honey is probably hot when it comes out. And you know what? It's hot outside. It's probably just as hot as a bee butt popping honey. That's what I'm saying. Bees are the absolute heavyweights of the agricultural world. While the wind, water, and other insects can move pollen around like beetles, bees are essentially nature's hyper-optimized, purpose-built pollination machines. I don't think they wanted to be. I don't think they signed up for it. This is just what happened. This is what happened. They just like the natural evolution of them. Earth requires bees. The only reason bees are around is to pollinate our food so that we can eat. It appears that's the only reason they are around. And they have gotten better and better and better at it through evolution. And like I said, I don't think they chose to do that. None of them signed up to like have their life's purpose be to pollinate things so that the human beings can eat. So, I mean, listen, if I come back, if you die and come back as an animal or an insect, I want to come back. I'm just putting this out there right now, universe. I want to come back as Joe Rogan's chickens. Because those little bichons, they got treated really nice. I think every morning they're called ladies. Hello, ladies. You know, and they're just clucking away. They just have a really good life. I'd like to come back as Joe Rogan's chickens or the ducks at the Tennessee. What is it? Which hotel is that? The Tennessee. The Peabody in Tennessee. There's these ducks that live at the Peabody Hotel in Tennessee. And there's someone who like takes care of them 24/7. And every morning, every day at 11 o'clock, the official duck master leads a group of resident mallard ducks down the elevator from their rooftop duck palace and along a red carpet to the hotel's grand lobby fountain at 5:00 p.m. The ceremony is reversed and the ducks are marched back up the elevator for the evening. And I think there's like a big pond for them up on the roof. And that's a good life. That seems like a pretty good life. So those are the two things. I definitely don't want to come back as a bee. No thanks. Holy smokes, no thanks. These guys are amazing, these bees. Wow. Yeah, so anyway, killing a honeybee on purpose should be jail time. And I hope that happens soon. Because they are very important. And that's my stance. And I'm sticking to it. Bees didn't just stumble into this job. They evolved over millions of years specifically to do it. Again, they didn't ask to do this job. They didn't really want to get good at their job, but they're really, really good at it. And the only reason and the only reason we can eat is because of bees, guys. Remember, 1 out of every 3 bites of food humans consume relies directly or indirectly on animal pollination, and bees do the vast majority of the work. So how many bites you chomping? How many times you smacking those jowls together? How many times a day you doing that? Have your watch that tracks your steps, track your jowl smacking. And let's see what's up. Let's see how many bees you got working for you, huh? It seems like it seems like we should all respect the bees and maybe think about that while you're smacking those jowls together. That's what I'm saying. All right. We should have, everyone has a certain amount of jowl smacking they can do in a day. But if you're jowl smacking way more than another person, gosh, then you got a lot of bees working for you. That doesn't seem right. Yeah, that's right. I'm going hard. I'm going hard at this because I like these bees, and I just need to remind myself when I'm smacking my jowls, when I got that little snackadactylis in me, I just need to remember about the bees. And let's all remember about the bees. Because the universe is amazing. Earth is amazing. It never stops. It never sleeps. And gosh, this is just like indentured servant. This is indentured servant maxing. That's what these bees are doing. Bees are covered in tiny branched hairs that act like microscopic Velcro. As a bee rummages around inside a flower looking for nectar, its food source, pollen naturally clings to its entire body. Flower consistency, fidelity. This is a crucial behavioral trait. When a foraging bee leaves the hive, it typically sticks to one single type of flower for that entire trip. If it starts on an apple blossom, it keeps visiting apple blossoms. This ensures the pollen it carries is actually delivered to the exact same species of plant which is required for fertilization. Why the heck do they care? They don't, but this is what they do. Much like a salmon swims upstream, they don't know why they're doing it. to spawn or whatever, to go ahead and got to swim upstream and jump. Boop. They got to boop, jump out of that water. They don't know why they're doing it, but they do it. They do it anyway. So that's what these dudes are doing. It's amazing. Unlike butterflies or beetles that just casually sip nectar and happen to bump into pollen, bees are actively harvesting both nectar for energy and pollen for protein to feed their young. Because they need immense amounts of pollen for their hive, they visit hundreds of flowers per trip. I'm checking my systems here, guys. All right, we're good. Without bees, our diets would be incredibly bland. We would still have wind-pollinated staples like rice, wheat, and oats, but we would lose vitamins and antioxidants, the bulk of them, and everything would be colorless. It's like that movie. There's a movie called Pleasantville, and you got Tobey Maguire, Reese Witherspoon, the dude from Dumb and Dumber, not Jim Carrey, the other guy. Everything's black and white in the beginning. And that's what our food would look like. It'd be sad. Everyone would be walking around like Eeyore. Everyone would be Eeyore maxing. We wouldn't have vitamin. People would have scurvy. I mean, it would be no one would be strong because we're just all like sad and depressed. And I mean, it's a little ridiculous because there is a lot of that today. There's a lot of people walking around sad and depressed, even though we have these beautiful colors in our food. Take a look at a papaya. Beautiful. A kiwi. Cut a kiwi open. Go ahead and cut that Bichon open. As soon as you cut that open, you see that beautiful green. There's kiwis that are yellow and green. I mean, just looking at fruit. You got, what else? Pomegranate. Oh, those are, what about a grapefruit, guys? If you're feeling down, like you're good, you're healthy, but like you're depressed and you can't get yourself out of rut, go to the supermarket or go to a farmer's market, go pick a couple fruits out. Actually pick more than a couple, pick like 3, 4, 5. And just look at them and then cut them open and look at the beautiful colors. It will make you so happy. And hopefully you're not colorblind. And but I think AI will fix that in a few years. So then you'll be able to see those fruits. But if you are colorblind, at least there's nutrients in those fruits, which is great, and antioxidants. And your body will feel that when you eat it. Again, everything in moderation. 1 out of every 3 bites that humans do. Okay, humans do. They do in bites. 1 out of every 3 bites of food that humans do in bites, consuming, relies directly or indirectly on animal pollination, and bees do the vast majority of that work. Okay? So just remember that. So everything in moderation. I mean, that's so cool. So, the mechanics of pollination. If you guys don't remember this from 2nd grade, I'll go over this real quickly. For a plant to produce a fruit, vegetable, or a nut, it must be pollinated. This means pollen. It's the male genetic material has to be transferred from the anther, the male part of the flower, to the stigma, the female part. Some staple crops, like wheat and corn, are wind pollinated. They just release pollen into the air and hope it lands in the right spot. When people say hope is not a strategy, false, because that's what our staple crops do. Our staple crops, they living on hope. They literally they doing hope as a strategy out there, and they seem to be doing okay. The majority of the nutrient-dense, high-volume crops we eat require an external agent, a vector, to physically move the pollen. That would be a bee. I just hope that bees don't wake up one day and become sentient and realize what their whole life is about, because they'll just immediately stop their work. So come on, bees. Give a little love to those bees. Love you, bees. I love you to give some love out to the world to those bees. Because of those bees, we got food. That's what we're doing. Okay, now, gosh, it seems a little fragile. It seems a little fragile that our whole food network relies on these bees. Like they seem a little fragile. People, like, there's so many things that kill them. I mean, God, we can go in glyphosates, chemicals, people. I mean, holy smokes, it's insane. It's ridiculous. So, I mean, that's a little scary to think about, right? So we got some bee bots on the way. That's right. We're in the AI and robotic revolution. And that means we're getting some bee robots. People be working on some bee bots. And these bee bots, they're not they're not physically popping honey like the bee butts. You know, like the squishy, the bees we have, like I call them squishy, like we're in these squishy meat bags. So those bees are in those like squishy meat bags, you know, and they be popping some honey out their butt. I don't think these bee bots do that just yet. They just help with the pollination. So here we go. I mean, that's the other thing. Like, so they're pollinating our food. And then on top of it, they're giving us this amazing nectar, this nectar of the earth and nectar. I call it nectar. You know, like I know honeysuckles have nectar, but I'm calling honey nectar. And they're giving us this oh, it is amazing. I love freaking honey. I just want to plug in here a honey place, a honey business called Just Be Wise Honey. And they have honey that is glyphosate free, and it's absolutely amazing. I've purchased honey from them. They sent me some samples of other honey, which I ended up purchasing because it was amazing, like their vanilla cream honey and their cinnamon cream honey during the holidays. Holy smoke. They have a pumpkin green honey. Yeah, it's amazing. Anyway, so Just Be Wise Honey is amazeballs, and I heard word on the street they treat their bees very nicely. So that's what I like to hear. But yeah, not only are these bees pollinating our food, they're giving us a gift. Another, like, they're like, here's a sweet gift that you can put on your fruit and your food. I mean, what? Can you think of anything else on this planet that gives so much? I mean, they don't know they're doing it for us, but that's their whole like living. That's their whole existence, is to basically make sure that human beings live. I mean, it's pretty incredible. So I think dogs are a runner-up. Not that they're helping us grow food, but they are unconditionally love us, and I feel like dogs kind of know. Like, they're a little more self-aware, and they know that they're just the best, man. Dogs are amazing. Okay, so here we go into the bee bots, the heavy hitters. Let's see. We got Bee Hero, Delray, California. Right in the heart of California's agricultural hub, we have Bee Hero. It manages the largest data-driven pollination network in the world. They deploy low-cost, plug-and-play acoustic and environmental sensors inside the hives. Their machine learning platform processes millions of daily bee signals, listening to the collective hum of the hive to tell farmers exactly how active the bees are, if the queen is missing, or if a colony is on the verge of collapse. Their U.S. operations have scaled massively to track over 1 million smart hives, securing billions of dollars in American crops, especially almonds, because we have to have our almonds. If it wasn't for white people, we wouldn't have almond milk or pickleball or avocado toast. Berries and apples, by optimizing precisely where and when hives are placed in the fields. Then we have, let's see, Georgia Tech, shout out, Atlanta, whoop, whoop. In early 2026, researchers debuted a major breakthrough for indoor agricultural and robotic pollinator built specifically for vertical farms and greenhouses. All right, here we go. This is the name of it. The tech is called YOLO. You only look once. That usually means you only live once. But in this case, it means you only look once. Real-time object detection framework, a hyperfast computer vision model to scan a plant and instantly calculate a flower's exact 3D orientation, a flower pose. Once mapped, the robot uses a delicate mechanism to gently vibrate the stem at the precise frequency required to dislodge and transfer pollen. It completely removes the need for human hand pollination or importing live bee colonies into sealed indoor environments. That's amazing. I love it. I love YOLO. I love it. And then now we're on to the bee bot. Okay? The Robo Bee. That's what I'm saying. And let me tell you something. I think I'm noticing that insects and animals, they're getting a little touch of the tism. Because I see a lot of side-eye action, especially from those birds. We got a bird that built a nest up under our porch. And every time I look at it, I see it every day almost, and it looks at me with that side eye. And also it's built like these birds are getting real intricate with their nests. And what I'm saying is, bees and birds and iguanas, whatever, like they have to adapt in order to survive the AI and robotic revolution. In order to adapt and survive the AI and robotic revolution, I think the natural evolution is autism, the tism. So that's what I think is going on too with these bees, because now you got Robo Bees coming at them and they're like, what the frick? What the frick? Who are these guys coming into town? These Robo Bees. Okay, here we go. Harvard Micro Robotics Lab. Harvard's famous Robo Bee. The undisputed pioneer of sub-gram flying micro-robotics. Because these tiny insect-scale drones weigh less than a penny, landing without crashing due to their own wing draft has been a multi-year engineering bottleneck. Yeah, that's crazy. Like, think about the intricacies, like how a bee is engineered. And tell me, think about how a bee is engineered, and then you try to tell me that there is, like, that it's just evolution. Evolution just created that. It's like walking in the middle of the forest and finding a beautiful, intricate, beautifully engineered clock, a grandfather clock built out of from the Blackwood forest. You just all of a sudden found it in the forest and you're like, that's just evolution. Yep, evolution just built that right there. No, I don't think so. There's a greater power out there building these things. I mean, it's pretty wild because when we try to rebuild them, it takes years and years and years. Sometimes we just can't. And these guys at Harvard have been working on this for years. Not 4 years like FOUR, for FOR years. This year, the team successfully integrated long jointed legs modeled after crane flies. These flexible legs act as natural shock absorbers, allowing the microscopic, you can say it however you want, drones to stabilize and land safely on fragile surfaces. It brings the concept of autonomous micro-drone pollination swarms out of pure theory and a step closer to greenhouse deployment. That is amazing. MIT engineers shattered records by getting their microscopic robot bees to hover for over 1,000 seconds. That's around 17 minutes, which is 100 times longer than previous attempts. The secret to this flight time is their use of artificial muscles made from elastomers, flexible polymers, which are essentially synthetic, stretchy, rubber-like materials, and carbon nanotubes. Microscopic, hollow tubes made of carbon atoms that are incredibly strong and conduct electricity perfectly. I wonder if they have magnetic fluid in these little nanotubes, like a car. Maybe one day. When electricity hits these nanotubes, they cause the artificial muscles to flap the robot's wings with immense speed and efficiency, generating the perfect thrust, the forward or upward pushing force needed for sustained flight. That is why. Oh. Holy smokes. Okay. We're coming up here at an hour. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it on that note on Robo Bees. And that's a good thing, the Robo Bees. And every time you take a bite, every time you're slapping those jowls, you're taking bites, just remember the bees. Remember to be thankful for the bees. If you see a bee, whoa, I just saved my laptop from crashing to the ground. Okay, if you see a bee, remember to give it some love. Don't give it a hug. Okay, don't go over there and be giving it a hug. Just give it some love from a distance away. That's what I'm saying. All right, guys, I'm gonna end this podcast, and thanks for being here with me. I love being here with you guys. I will see you next week. Bye.